No matter how difficult the struggle or the situation or the project, you have to first say, do I want to do this? And then once you say, yeah, I do, now go all in on it. This is the job that I like doing. I do like being IT because we have all of these unique problems. And it's like, guess what? It's an open slate for us to figure it all out. I'm certain we'll find a solution. I just don't know what it's going to look like yet, but we're not going to leave you with nothing.
You're great at this, whether it's falling on the sword or whatever, but you're not necessarily afraid to make mistakes.
Even if it's gone significantly wrong, I can say, hey, based on all this information, this is what we thought we had on the table. And if the team messes up in total, I own the mistake. And if someone does really well, I give them the glory, and then the team gets glory kind of just organically from that.
Welcome to the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast, where real people share real stories about what's happening with doors, windows, millwork, and life. I'm John Wheeler, and along with my co-hosts, we sit down with your peers who are moving our industry forward. These are honest conversations packed with practical insights and lessons you can take and bring value to your team. Here's today's conversation. Welcome to the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast, where we tell the stories of the people and the technology and the products of the millwork, window, and door industry. I have Joseph Slawson here.
Hello.
From Boise Cascade. I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell me a little about you.
Hi, I'm Joseph Slawson. I'm the Millwork IT Manager over at Boise Cascade. I've been there for 18 years now.
18 years.
Yes.
So I did my history the other day, and it equals 25 as a whole. Uh-huh. And I realized that I was like an industry elder.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah, that was interesting. So you have, we've worked together for a while, yes, and you have a ton of history and experience in things implementing all sorts of systems, right? ERP, yep, CPQ, all of the acronyms and things. Tell me about the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful implementation and rollout.
Sure. Well, like I said, I've been doing this for about 18 years, and one of the biggest projects we did was rolling out a WMS system. Mm-hmm. And it was countrywide. Every site needed to have it. The big thing that made that a success was get the right team and trust them to do their job. Don't try and micromanage the project. Instead, say, okay, I know I've got experts that can do hardware side of it. I've got experts that can do software configuration. I've got experts that can do the network and the communication backbone. If I tried to do all of that or tried to review each of those portions to the same level they are, it's not going to be successful. And then I'm going to be wasting time when there's things I'm supposed to focus on. So really, it's get that right team, trust them. Then document. Yep. Because the first few rollouts, the first few locations, that was rough. We were learning a lot. It was a new software for us. The team was understanding what they were supposed to do, each portion. And so then as we wrote down, okay, here's what went right, here's what didn't go right, mm-hmm, you get all those things, you go to the next one, it's a little bit easier, next one, it's a little bit easier. By the end, I'm able to send a secondary team to do stuff and not be the lead on each one.
The documenting, you always think of documenting like here's how we built the bill of materials or something, but documenting the actual process, I don't know that I've ever thought. I'm sure other companies do that, but I've never thought about documenting the process and like here's some doo-doo to not step in.
We had a spreadsheet, because it was in the time of spreadsheets. We had a spreadsheet that had a whole bunch of links in it, which had here's how you do this portion of it, and it would have a breakdown of things that went right, and it wouldn't show things that went wrong. It would say, make sure you do these exact steps because it'll mess something up.
That's interesting. I wrote down in my notes, don't know where it came from, but no paralysis analysis. So I think I mixed those up. But I think that probably speaks to, making a decision and moving on at a certain point.
Yes. So that's another thing that I'm glad you brought that up, because really one of the things I tell my team a lot is we make the best decision we can with the information we have at the time. And then we're not afraid to, after we kind of see what reality throws at us, adjust that and change it. And I remember looking up some quotes and coming up with one from General Patton, which says, a good plan executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week. And we 100%. Live by that a lot. It's like, oh, can we get the perfect plan? If we don't have a perfect plan, we can't wait. You can't wait to have a perfect plan. You got to act with what you have.
Right, because it will you'll never do anything because it'll never seem perfect.
Right.
Then you also, and you're great at this, whether it's falling on the sword or whatever, but you're not necessarily afraid to make mistakes because you made the best decision at the time.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, that statement of you make the best decision you can with the information you have at the time really comes back to, I can then defend it. Even if it's gone wrong, even if it's gone significantly wrong, I can say, hey, based on all this information, this is what we thought we had on the table. And if the team messes up in total, I own the mistake. Mm-hmm. And if someone does really well, I give them the glory, and then the team gets glory kind of just organically from that.
Right.
And so it's really good to be able to say, hey, Matt did a really good job doing this, or Zach did a really good job doing this other thing. And again, if things go wrong, I'm like, hey, the mistake was mine. And here's what we're going to do to solve it. And always have a solution, or always have a new plan to solve it, because that helps fix everything.
And the planning part, if you pay attention to industry news, Boise is busy in the M&A space.
Yes. And
I think, as far as the systems are concerned and integrating companies in from a technology standpoint, you've been in there, and you have to, I can't imagine the planning that goes into some of those. And I think starting to do something plays a part of that. You have to just start doing something. Otherwise it's never going to happen. Tell me about, I guess a success and some learning experiences from that.
Sure. So M&A, so mergers and acquisitions, for anyone that doesn't know that term, it's a lot of fun, and there's always an extra dynamic there. One being, there's always a time crunch. And it's funny, even though I'm the head of the IT department for my area, I still don't find out about those till we're closing in on,
right.
We're well into deals are being signed and we're ready to go. So I'm told, hey, clear your calendar. We need this in a month. And I'm like, okay. Do we know what software they have currently? Do we know anything about their inventory? Do we know anything about what their infrastructure is? So a whole bunch of learning as fast as we can, usually a site visit. And then it's, again, bring the right team. Mm-hmm. But now we've got another people aspect. So I'm bringing my right team, but we're interacting with folks that aren't integrated in our culture yet. Mm-hmm. Don't know me and my team, so they don't know if are these guys going to come and make life harder for us? Or are they going to come and make life easier for us? And then that's a big thing that we often see when we're bringing a new group in. Even if we've done a good job of being positive and being cheerleaders, they're going to switch to a software system where they're going to feel like, oh, what I could get done so much in a day before, now I'm getting 15%, 15 to 20% done. So we have a lot of encouragement, a lot of, hey, you're learning a new software system. Remember, that's taking up part of your day. Hey, you are still trying to do your old job and not fall into your old processes. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to interface with a new culture and a new company.
Is that the part of the positive stress that you talk about?
Yes. Yes. My team thrives on, hey, we have a new challenge. Mm-hmm. We're in IT because we don't want to do the same thing over and over again. We want to have a new challenge presented to us each time.
An interesting take on IT.
Yeah.
Sorry, IT folks.
No, IT, we love that. We love that. We love being like, okay, what's the next challenge? Mm-hmm. It's funny. I reference the movie Apollo 13 to my team a lot. And there's one where they have to have the filter that's a circular one fit into a square hole. And it's like, and I remember the line from there is something like, they've handed this problem to us and we got to come through. Mm-hmm. And so I'll say it to my team a lot, whatever it is. Hey, some group, whether it's a branch, upper management, the yard crew, whatever it is, has handed us this problem and we got to come through. So.
Interesting. And then especially when you apply that to the scale of the specific business that you're working with.
Right.
It's not, it's challenging. I think anyone that I'm included in this group, but anyone that's ever been around you, or worked with you or whatever usually says like, that's one of my favorite people to work with. Right. Now don't get a big head. But tell me about, cause you are 100% transparent and genuine and authentic. Also, it's not some fake thing that you try to be everyone's best friend. And tell me about how you keep that authenticity and personality, but also at the scale that you're doing things and the changes that you're implementing.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you. Those are really kind words, and I appreciate that a lot. It is authenticity, I think, is the key word there. For me, first of all, I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy it all the time. And it all starts with a positive attitude. And I know lots of people talk about always staying positive. There's some truth behind, no matter how difficult the struggle or the situation or the project or whatever it is, you have to first say, do I want to do this? And then once you say, yeah, I do, now go all in on it. I do want to do this. This is the job that I like doing. I do like being in IT because we have all of these unique problems. And it's like, guess what? It's an open slate for us to figure it all out. And so I bring that kind of positivity. I bring that kind of, I'm certain we'll find a solution. I just don't know what it's going to look like yet, but we're not going to leave you with nothing.
Almost like design mode.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I draw the team in. That's another thing. The reason why a lot of people enjoy working with me, I make sure everyone gets a voice. I make sure that, I bring the team together, and there might be someone that really does well with that portion, but they're kind of quiet. We won't be done with that meeting until I've said, hey, I didn't hear any input from you. Do you want to say something now? Do you want to tell me later? Everything's fine, but
that's good. I want them that option of not in front of everybody.
But I want to make sure that their voice is heard, because just getting to the outcome is not good enough. They have to be included in the journey as well, which goes back to when we're implementing softwares and stuff. We go early and talk with them and say, hey, here's what we're trying to do. Give us feedback. I can't guarantee that all your feedback is going to be included, but I guarantee it's going to be heard and weighed. And that's kind of important.
So much nicer than I put it. I think my eyes always say, it's a really bad idea. You're not old, but I think that I have just picture you in like one of those shirts that says no bad days on it. Right. And somebody comes and says like, oh, you got to do this. And I think you've told me before, like, I keep a positive attitude because like, what are you going to say? Like, sorry, I have to do my job more.
Yes. I remember that discussion. That's funny when somebody's like, oh, I'm sorry for calling you in the middle of the night or doing this or that, or putting this project on you. And I'm like, this is my job.
Right.
What am I going to say? Sorry that you've made me work harder, made me do my job. It's okay. That's what I want to do.
Right.
I want to come away with solutions.
You can draw parallels to marriage and kids and all sorts of things. But if you say you wake up in the morning or, whenever it happens, but like, I want to be here, I want to do this, and, reevaluating that every step along the way, I feel like it lets things not pile up on you. It almost rolls off because you're like choosing to do it and you're like, shrug off the bad stuff and kind of get excited about it. A lot of the industry has kind of tight-knit teams. And I know that the team that you work with and have worked with for a while travels a lot together. It's drawing the kind of family dynamics almost. How do you be successful and get along? I know in my past, I've certainly not always got along, but you might get out of a pretty tense meeting. And if someone were to mess with my teammate, they better not, because I still have their back, even if that didn't go along so great. Tell me about that.
Travel is interesting. It can either be super stressful, or it can be an opportunity to bring the team together and say, hey, while you're away from your regular desk and your regular family, let's bond together some so that all of our projects are that much better. And so again, one of the things I make sure of is I make sure that everybody has the chance to have input, especially around food. So food is an interesting one. You travel, and if we're like, oh, let's go to sushi. And you've got the one person that doesn't like sushi, but they haven't said anything. And they're like, oh, and now next night we're going to go to Chinese, and they don't like that one either. It's like, oh, we've got
2 whole days that they hate.
And they're, you know, trying to pick at stuff and figure out what they want. So I will often say, hey, we're going to choose something. And the only veto I keep in there is if there's an actual food allergy or a specific health problem.
Yeah, you got to go along with it, but you can't die.
But otherwise, it's like, everybody gets a choice. Again, a lot of cheerleading, a lot of positivity, a lot of, hey, we're out here. I know you're away from your family. I make sure there's always time for them to call back home. I will often say, hey, between the end of the day and before we join up to go to dinner, I'm going to call back to the homestead and talk to my wife and kids. I recommend you guys do the same. I really encourage them to do that so that then when they can come back and it's dinner time, we can do that. When it's at the work day, I watch and see kind of who's starting to get frustrated. And I'll be like, hey, take a quick walk with me. Take a quick break. That falls under that portion of do your job and trust them to do it right. One of my jobs is making sure that the team's temperature level stays below the boiling point.
So interesting because you're almost like a coach, and I thought like college football and college sports specifically, like those are the things that those coaches need to pay attention to, right? The on the field stuff is important, but you know, they understand the transitional period that those kids are in when they're, you know, under their care or kind of on their team. It's interesting.
Interesting you should say that. Two big influence for me on that one was, yes, I was in organized sports in high school. I was also in Boy Scouts. And Boy Scouts had a big impact on me because the leaders of the Boy Scouts did that really well as far as keep everybody safe, keep everybody engaged, keep everybody from fighting with each other. Because, I mean, we were young boys that wanted to do, you know, all sorts of things, and sometimes we'd step on somebody else. And they had to step in and make sure that there was that balance between don't stop us from being excited, but make sure that we're not pushing somebody else out, even unintentionally.
And for me, it was always, where's your other person, right? Where's your, you know, the buddy system is one thing, but it's like, hey, go find whoever it is, because like, or make sure that they're okay. They've been gone, you know, doing whatever tasks that they were doing, like go make sure and like looking out for one another. Interesting. I think there's something about Tulsa and traveling and weather played a part of it. Tell me about that story.
So that's a fun story. The team is in Tulsa, and this one's not the rollout team. This is kind of the scouting team. We're doing some scouting on some new projects and some new ideas, which might or might not have included looking at a door configurator. But we're out there, and it's just supposed to be a couple of days, and we're supposed to visit the branch and do some things. Terrible snowstorm comes in. So bad that it shuts down the branch. It shuts down a lot of the town. And we are at a hotel in kind of the downtown area. There's a few restaurants close by, but that's pretty much all you can get to. And so we just had a fun bonding. I remember we actually got a tour of the hotel because there was nothing else we could do. So
show me around.
Yeah, one of the older kind of like the head janitorial staff, as well as one of the people that kind of knew the hotel. They take us on a tour, and they're able to unlock some of the highest level rooms because there's nobody staying in there. And it's like, oh yeah, this one's from, you know, pre-1900s.
Oh, really that's really cool.
Stuff.
Like a historic hotel.
It was really cool. It was just fun. And again, we laughed and joked, and we worked with what we could, but there wasn't a whole lot we could do. So we just enjoyed each other's time.
Did you ever have to eat like just ketchup packets for dinner?
No, but I don't know if it was that trip or another one that was also kind of we were not snowed in, but delays and different things. They had a charcuterie board, which turned out to be more just like a Lunchable. It was, and it was hilarious.
They had got it from the 7-Eleven.
And it was like, you know, we could complain about it or we could laugh about it.
What are you going to do? Eat snow or something?
Yeah. So we laughed and had a good time, and I think we took some pictures and sent them back to folks, just making fun and not in a mean way. In a hey, this is life for us.
Yep, this is what it's like. It's not always glamorous.
No.
Yeah, traveling has its perks, but it also has its times that suck. I think one of your personality traits, is humility and accountability. You have confidence in yourself, but it's not that confidence that comes across as arrogant. And you tell me about like where that comes from and why that's like that and how important that is in your role for your team.
I have great respect for my parents. I was raised well. I was raised with a lot of own your mistakes. Mm-hmm. My father was a carpenter, and I learned from him a lot of how to do stuff with my hands. And there was a lot in there that comes to you recognize what you do right and what you do wrong, and you've got to fix it yourself because no one else is going to fix it for you. And so a lot of that learning then translates into when I work with anybody, I encourage them a lot. And at the same time, I've got kind of this strong but not overwhelming sense of I can help and fix anything that you have but I'm not gonna come to the table like I can fix it all because I know my own limitations and I know that I'm gonna make plenty of mistakes. But at the same time, if somebody is brand new and they're learning the system and they're like, oh, I'm afraid to touch anything and break it, I will say to them, I'll look them right in the eye and say, there is nothing you can break that I can't fix. And that's not arrogance. That is, I want you to know that I'm going to support you with whatever goes wrong. We can fix it. I can undo it in the software. I can even climb into the back and fix it and give you a start over on that. There's really a lot that we can do, and that comes from experience. And with more experience, I also learn more and more that it just comes down to I'm going to make mistakes, and if I can own them and show other people that, then they're more comfortable to make mistakes too.
Leading by example. My for better or for worse, it's my parenting strategy also.
Good. That's all right.
Hopefully it's most of the good stuff that comes through, but also the I think, you look at that Captain America movie and where he like jumps on the grenade and he's like, everybody get out of here.
Yes.
I think that's 100% something that you would do. But I think, you've talked about your team also, and there's things that maybe they're even better at than you are, or they do a better job than you would have because they have their focus and, highlighting those people for that.
No, and that's a really good point because earlier in my career, when I was kind of just in charge of a smaller team and I was in doing software support, I could do every job that they could do. Mm-hmm. I still let them do their job, but in a pinch, I could be like, oh, luckily I've done the reading or I had that experience before, I can do other jobs. Now I'm in a position where I've got designers and programmers and document writers where if I try and step into their role, I cannot accomplish everything they do in nearly the same time frame. And it took a lot for me to go from that tactical mentality of, oh, I can just jump in and move the pieces on the board to I've got to direct somebody else to do that. And that's one of the most interesting learning experiences that comes with folks when they are good at what they do and then they get to be moved up into a more leadership role. They've got to let go of some of that tactical and be more strategic.
You like playing long, drawn-out board games. And I feel like now you professionally play a long, drawn-out board game.
So I had to talk on that for a second. Board games are a passion for me, and I really enjoy those. And I even have, as one of my interview questions, as one of my pre-interview questions to kind of figure out how someone thinks, I say, choose a game that you like. Explain how you would teach it to me. What's the first thing you would teach me? What's the last thing you would teach me? It's really enlightening to see what comes to mind first on how that is. So then I can kind of get inside their mind a little bit and say, okay, this is how you're is how your mind works of what's most important to what's least important.
I'm glad you've never interviewed me. I'd pick Uno.
Say, okay, the most important thing to know
The
is
most important thing.
say Uno when you have one card left.
That's the most important thing. The last thing is destroy your neighbor.
But no, I enjoy that a lot. And that's actually something in my personal life where I have a real passion for it. My wife and I have a whole bunch of board games, and we'll play them with church friends or we'll bring them out at dinner parties, things like that. It's just a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Everything from simple games like card games like Uno, all the way to the ones that are like, okay, we're in this for 2 hours. Let's do this.
Yep. My son and I play Risk. If you do it on the Switch, it goes really, really fast.
Nice.
And then you don't have to like remember the rules and forget things. But yeah, that's a very long, drawn out game.
Yeah.
And tempers can get pretty heated. Yes. I think I hate losing more than I like winning. And so when you get beat by your 12-year-old over and over and over again, you're just like, I should be better at this, but I'm not.
If you're ready for a long tactical game like that, try Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is a good game right now.
I'm going to have to figure that out. Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This is a lot of fun. Awesome. So, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us on the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms and follow Paradigm on LinkedIn and YouTube to catch more stories, insights, and ideas from your peers across our industry. See y'all.